Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual on Firstpost, where we get you a roundup of the top stories from around the world. I'm Alison Lagrange, coming to you live from Durban, South Africa. Let's start with the top stories. The Indian Navy is holding two-day naval exercises in the Arabian Sea. At the same time, Pakistan is also holding separate naval drills in its torrential waters. The overlapping schedules point to heightened military activity in the strategically significant Arabian Sea as Operation Sindoor continues. The Arabian Sea is a key route for maritime trade and crucial to regional security. The drills also come months after a tense military flare-up between the two neighbors that saw India retaliate against terror camps in Pakistan following the April 22nd Pahalgam attack. On the 26th of August, the Indian Navy will commission two Project 17A stealth frigates. Now, the INS Udayagiri and the INS Himgiri, they were built by Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders and Garden Reach Shipbuilders. The 6,700-ton vessels feature low radar signatures, supersonic missiles, and advanced anti-submarine warfare systems. The project has involved over 200 MSMEs, creating thousands of jobs. In the national capital, New Delhi, opposition leader Rahul Gandhi and senior opposition figures were detained during a protest outside Parliament. The opposition planned a march to the Election Commission office, accusing the poll body of a voter fraud and collusion with the ruling BJP. The opposition's march was blocked by police with heavy security deployment and barricading of roads. Meanwhile, opposition leader Akhilesh Yadav was seen jumping over police barricades during the protest march. According to reports, Pakistan's military chief, Field Marshal Asim Munir, warned that his country could use nuclear weapons if faced with an existential threat from India. He reportedly stated, and I quote, "If we think we are going down, we'll take half the world down with us," end quote. Speaking at a black tie dinner in Tampa, Munir also threatened to destroy any Indian-built dam under the suspended Indus Waters Treaty with 10 missiles, warning it could put 250 million at risk of starvation. A Chinese Navy vessel collided with one from its own Coast Guard while chasing a Philippines patrol boat in the South China Sea. Manila released the dramatic footage of the confrontation. The incident occurred near the contested Scarborough Shoal as the Philippine Coast Guard escorted boats distributing aid to fishermen in the area. 5 journalists were killed in an Israeli strike outside the Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza City. Israel's military confirmed targeting al-Sharif, accusing him of leading a Hamas cell, but did not mention the other journalists. The network, whose journalists were killed, condemned the attack as a blatant assault on freedom of the press. The total death toll from the strike stands at 7. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese announced Australia will recognize a Palestinian state at the UN General Assembly in September, calling the two-state solution humanity's best hope for ending the Gaza conflict. The move follows similar pushes from France, Britain and Canada. Now, Albanese said that recognition is contingent on the Palestinian Authority, ensuring Hamas plays no role in governance. And North Korea warned of resolute counteraction against the upcoming joint drills by South Korea and the United States. The warning was issued by Defense Chief No Kwon-chol on Monday. The drills, called the Ulchi Freedom Shield, are scheduled to run for at least 10 days from the 18th to the 28th of August. Meanwhile, both Koreas had recently removed propaganda loudspeakers along their border to ease tensions. Indonesia and Peru signed a major trade agreement in Jakarta. The deal came weeks after the United States imposed at least a 19% tariff on Indonesian imports. Meanwhile, Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto and the Peruvian President Dina Boluarte said that the pact will boost trade and market access. Both countries agreed to cooperate on defense, food, security, energy and mining. The agreement was sealed just 14 months after talks began. A powerful earthquake struck Sindirgi in the western Turkey on Sunday, killing 1 and injuring at least 29. 16 buildings collapsed, including 4 inhabited ones. The tremor felt in Istanbul and Izmir was followed by 20 aftershocks. Rescue teams are working to locate survivors as the country recalls the last year's devastating quake that killed more than 53,000 people. And moving on to climate news now. In India, the northern state of Uttarakhand faced renewed weather alarms on Monday. Dark clouds hovered over the region and heavy rainfall triggered landslides in multiple areas. In the past 24 hours, most regions, including Dehradun, received significant rainfall. The Disaster Operations Center urged residents to stay cautious and to avoid riverbanks and streams. While the showers brought relief from the heat, waterlogging and landslides caused major inconvenience in some parts of the state. In the United States, Wisconsin woke up to light rain and thunderstorms following heavy rainfall on Sunday. Severe storms brought historic rainfall to southeastern Wisconsin, with some areas receiving up to 13 inches overnight. The downpour caused major flooding and submerged railroad tracks in Milwaukee's suburb. The National Weather Service issued flood warnings for several counties as floodwaters spread across the region. Flash flooding forced the cancellation of the final day of Wisconsin State Fair on Sunday. And Italy continues to battle wildfires. Crews fought flames in the Vesuvius National Park for the third straight day on Sunday. The fire broke out on Friday in a forested area and spread rapidly, scorching hundreds of hectares, including valuable vineyards and cropland. Aircraft and ground teams worked non-stop as authorities mobilized national civil protection forces. According to environmental groups, Italy has recorded 851 fires so far this year, destroying more than 65,000 hectares of land. And wildfires continue to wreak havoc in Spain. Helicopters battled a blaze in the northern Navarra region on Sunday. The fire, which began in a pine grove on a mountain slope, remained active. A sudden change in wind pushed flames into a village and a heritage site in Lyon province. At least 1,000 people were evacuated from the northeastern province on the 10th of August. And amid extreme heat in the Balkan Peninsula, a wildfire threatened hundreds of homes in southeastern Kosovo on Sunday. Residents fought the flames with water, sticks and basic tools as fire trucks could not reach the mountainous terrain. At least 7 hectares of farmland and trees were destroyed. The Interior Ministry said that on the night of August the 10th, Kosovo had recorded at least 37 wildfires, with more than 18 still active. And on to some business and tech news now. Major share indices crept higher across Asian markets earlier today, as investors were encouraged by strong corporate quarterly earnings reports, especially in the tech sector. Futures for Japan's Nikkei rose, suggesting that the index might challenge its all-time high this week. Markets were also focusing on the upcoming U.S. inflation report, with the data expected to influence the U.S. Federal Reserve's interest rate decisions and share market movements. India's equity benchmarks inched higher earlier today, led by gains in the Grasim Industries and State Bank of India after upbeat quarterly earnings reports. However, uncertainty over US tariffs on Indian goods capped some of the gains. The Nifty 50 and BSE Sensex both rose around 0.3% earlier today. Markets are also watching for upcoming US-Russia talks on the Ukraine war, which could impact trade sentiment and share prices going forward. And oil prices fell in Asian trade earlier today, extending last week's decline of more than 4%. Investors were waiting for the outcome of the upcoming talks between the US and Russia on the Ukraine war. Brent crude fell by 33 cents to $66.26 a barrel, while the U.S. West Texas Intermediate dropped by 39 cents to $63.49 a barrel. And Mexico set minimum export prices for fresh tomatoes to protect domestic production and secure local supply. This followed the expiry of a bilateral agreement with the United States. Washington had withdrawn from a 2019 deal and imposed a 17% duty on Mexican tomato imports in July. The new rules set minimum prices per kilogram for various tomato types, including cherry, Roma, and round tomatoes. Mexico had exported $3.3 billion worth of tomatoes last year. And Tesla opened its second showroom in India's capital, New Delhi, just days after officially entering the Indian market in Mumbai. The showroom, located in New Delhi's Aero City, offers visitors a chance to explore Tesla's latest electric cars introduced in India. Currently, Tesla's Model Y is the only electric vehicle available in the South Asian country's market. And money transfer company Western Union announced it would acquire US-based payment firm Intermex for approximately $500 million in cash. Western Union said the acquisition is expected to boost its profit in the first full year after the deal is closed. The move aims to expand Western Union's presence in the high-growth Latin America region. A new report suggested SoftBank has selected investment banks to organize a potential IPO for its Japanese payments app PayPay in the United States. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Mizuho, and Morgan Stanley were reportedly named as lead banks for the listing preparations. The report indicated the offering could raise over $2 billion, with the IPO possibly taking place in the final quarter of this year. If completed, this would be SoftBank's first US listing since the 2023 IPO of the ARM Holdings. And Air Canada flight attendants have planned to protest at 4 major airports today, including Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, and Calgary, to press their pay demands. The Canadian Union of Public Employees said that the demonstrations were not strikes and would not disrupt Air Canada's operations. The union highlighted issues including pay for all working hours, not just time when planes are in motion, and called for better wages in line with the 2025's economic reality. Nvidia and AMD have reportedly agreed to give the US government 15% of revenue from sales to China of its advanced AI computer chips. The agreement came as part of export license conditions to allow sales to resume after sales were halted earlier this year under Trump's administration. Nvidia generated $17 billion from China last fiscal year, while AMD reported $6.2 billion in China revenue for the year 2024. And US cloud services provider Rumble has confirmed it is considering a $1.17 billion offer for German AI cloud group Northern Data. The deal would give Rumble control of Northern Data's GPU-rich cloud business and large-scale data centers. Northern Data has said its board is reviewing the offer, which would see its shareholders own about 1/3 of Rumble if completed. The companies say that there is no certainty that talks will result in a formal deal. And moving on to some sports news, and we start with cricket. Australia defended 178 to beat South Africa by 17 runs in Darwin on Sunday. Tim David had top scored with 83, rescuing the innings after early wickets. Ryan Rickelton's 71 kept South Africa in the chase before they were bowled out for 161. Pacer Josh Hazlewood and spinner Adam Zampa starred with the ball. The West Indies beat Pakistan by 5 wickets in the second ODI on Sunday in San Fernando, Trinidad. Rain shortened Pakistan's innings to 37 overs, with Hassan Nawaz top scoring with 36. Ross and then Chase scored 49, and Sherfan Rutherford's 45-run knock sealed the chase with 10 balls to spare. The series decider is on Tuesday at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. In football, Crystal Palace beat Premier League champions Liverpool 3-2 on penalties after a 2-all draw at Wembley on Saturday. The keeper, Dean Henderson, saved 2 spot kicks, repeating his FA Cup heroics from May. And Justin Devaney then scored the winning penalty after Mohamed Salah missed Liverpool's first. It's Palace's first Community Shield win in club history. And Palestinian footballer Suleiman Al-Bayed was killed by an Israeli tank shell. Now, his family said that he was waiting for food aid in southern Gaza when the attack happened. Al-Bayed, who was 41, was a prolific striker for the Al-Shati club and the national team. Mohamed Salah has criticized UEFA for omitting the cause of death in its tribute. And a tribute to late Liverpool forward Diogo Jota and his brother was marred by crowd noise at Wembley. Both died in a July car crash in Spain. Liverpool has reiterated Jota's number 20 shirt, and this will be retired in order to honour him. The tribute took place before the Community Shield against Crystal Palace. And South Korea captain Son Heung-min made an impact in his first MLS game for LAFC on Saturday. Coming off the bench, he won a penalty in the 77th minute, converted by Dennis Bouanga, for a 2-all draw with Chicago Fire. Now, Son had also 3 shots on target, all saved by the goalkeeper Chris Brady. The ex-Tottenham star joined LAFC last week for a record $26 million transfer fee. In athletics, the much-hyped Neeraj Chopra versus Arshad Nadeem showdown in Poland won't happen. Chopra withdrew from the August 16th Silesia Diamond League. Nadeem is also absent from the entry list. Nadeem recently had calf surgery and is targeting the World Championships in Tokyo. The 2 Olympic champions last faced each other at the Paris 2024 Games. Olympian Anu Rani claimed the women's javelin title at the Indian Open in Bhubaneswar. Her 62.01 meter throw outclassed Sri Lanka's Indial Hattarabag Lekka and India's Deepika. It's a strong comeback for Rani, whose best throw in 2 years remains 62.59 meters in Poland. The meet is a part of the World Athletics Bronze Level Continental Tour. And in tennis, men's world number 2 Carlos Alcaraz has advanced to the round of 32 at the Cincinnati Open. He beat Bosnia's Damir Zuram 6-1, 2-6, 6-3 in the second round on Sunday. Now, the Spaniard struggled in the second set before regaining control in the third. He's reached 6 straight finals and is in red-hot form this season. And Roger Federer will return to action at the 2025 Shanghai Masters on the 10th of October. The 20-time Grand Slam champion will play the Roger and Friends Celebrity Doubles event at the Quizhong Stadium. Teammates and rivals will include actor Wu Li, martial arts star Donnie Yen, and doubles great Zheng Ji. And in entertainment news, horror film Weapons led the weekend box office with a $42.5 million debut, followed by comedy Freakier Friday with $29 million. Former chart topper and Fantastic Four First Steps earned $15.5 million in its third weekend. And actor Sophie Turner responded sharply to an Instagram user who implied that she neglected her children while attending a concert. Turner explained the concept of shared custody, suggesting her children were with their father that day. The exchange was later highlighted on the social media account comments by celebs. And Colombian singer Maluma paused his Mexico City concert to address a mother who bought her one-year-old baby without ear protection. In a video circulating online, the 31-year-old, who is also a father, urged the woman to be more aware of the risks of loud concerts for infants. Next time, protect their ears. It's your responsibility, he said, adding that he would never take his own child to such an event. And country singer Zach Bryan declared that he will never perform in Kansas City, following an online exchange with Kansas City Chiefs fans. The 29-year-old Eagles supporter had teased the team's failed three-peat attempt on social media, prompting backlash. Now, responding to the critical comments, Bryan stated that he would avoid playing at Arrowhead Stadium to steer clear of potential heckling. And former model and actress Kelly LeBrock revealed that she left Hollywood to raise her children away from the spotlight. The 65-year-old, best known for The Woman in Red and Weird Science, moved to a ranch near Santa Barbara after her divorce from Steven Seagal in 1996. She now lives a quieter life, caring for animals and working on a pet care product line. LeBrock said that she has no intention of returning to acting, describing the entertainment industry as ugly and herself as a homebody. And that's all we have on this edition of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost.